Hello everyone out there. As always, it's good to see you. Welcome to the Designer Spotlight, Louis Vuitton. For this installment of the Designer Spotlight today, we take a small journey over to Paris for an up-close look at Louis Vuitton. But for this video, we're not going to amplify or spend much time looking at the bags. Instead, we're going to be taking a look at the clothing. And we're going to do this by first taking a look at the women's clothing for this first segment. Now, I've put together 13 looks using the Louis Vuitton women's line. Usually I would mix and match, but the line was so extensive, I just went with all Louis Vuitton. By the way, in case you're not too familiar, I am JMADDD STYLES. When I initially started doing this video, the idea was to give you a quick glimpse, just kind of get in and out. But, as I was saying earlier, the line is so extensive that I couldn't just get in and out. So I started getting more and more carried away with the looks that I was seeing so far as the clothing. So the looks just kept coming. The styles just kept multiplying. So, stick with me to the end. You won't be disappointed. In my fashionable opinion, Louis always seemed like it was meant to be direct competition for Gucci. But, come to find out, Louis was founded in 1854, whereas Gucci was founded in 1921. So basically that's on the reverse. Gucci was really meant to be the competition for Louis Vuitton, or a direct answer to Louis Vuitton, coming from Italy, seeing as how Louis was coming from Paris. Not that it's really truly a direct competition or meant to be that way, but it just seems that way because when you look at the two different styles of the fashion or the brands, both houses share so many of the same fashionable characteristics, especially when you really take a look at or pay attention to how the logos are used within their clothing. That's the main similarity and characteristic. Now, they may both use different color schemes, but the feel of the brands are almost one and the same if you really pay attention to it. Then, there's what really makes them similar to each other, and that would be the price point. They both come in at a pretty high price point. Definitely not meant for the fashionably faint of heart. When it comes to owning pieces from a brand like Louis Vuitton or even a Gucci or any kind of high-end label such as these, I tend to refer to it as novelty pieces. The reason behind that is because basically, once you've obtained a piece of Louis Vuitton or any kind of high-end label, you tend probably not to wear it as much as regular pieces from other brands that you didn't pay as much for. Even though that kind of goes against the belief that you should get as much wear out of your clothing as possible, especially when you've paid a high price point for the article of clothing or the bag that you obtained. But in most cases, you probably won't wear it as much, even though for what you've paid for it, you probably should wear it or use it as often as possible to truly get the value from the item or items. After all, when you're looking at a brand like Louis Vuitton, it's definitely in the sustainable fashion category. So if you want to wear it a lot or use it a lot, then by all means do so. If you don't, that's your choice. Well, it looks like we have just reached the end of the women's wear segment of this Louis Vuitton designer spotlight video. Glad to see that you're still with me. But please continue to stick with me, because now it is time to take a look at menswear. Now, if you thought I went overboard with all the looks for the women's wear segment, I really went overboard for the menswear segment. I put together 17 looks. Once again, it was just hard to decipher which looks I should use and not use. So, I went with all of them. So once again, please stick with me till the end of the video. I promise you won't be disappointed. And just in case you're a little late joining us today, once again, I am JMADDD STYLES, and you are currently being styled by me. Now let's get back to the fashion. Louis Vuitton menswear. I don't believe I stated this at the beginning of the video, but the reason why I wanted to give you a look at the clothing and how it could be styled is because you see the bag so much, but you never get a good look at the clothing unless you happen to be looking or catch a fashion show from Louis Vuitton or the runway presentations. And I most definitely don't want to forget, if you are enjoying this video, then please by all means, press that like and subscribe button. After all, it helps the channel to grow. Now, I first caught a good look at the Louis Vuitton clothing when sometime around last year at Fashion Week in New York City, which was probably one of the last times that there was a truly live fashion week right before COVID hit. I had the opportunity to stop into the Louis Vuitton showroom store, and I gotta admit I was impressed by the clothing that I was seeing, because once again, like I said, you rarely saw or see the clothing. Once I've seen it, I definitely became a fan of the brand. I was already a fan of the shoes, and especially a fan of the shoe that you keep seeing in this video, and that is that blue Louis Vuitton loafer. Now, I own the sneakers, but I do not own those loafers yet, so they are still on my to-own list as one of those, as we said before, novelty items. Louis Vuitton has over the years become known for its, what I would say, muted tone, especially when it comes to the bags. The dark brown with tan accent or caramel colored accent. But when it comes to the clothing, you'll also notice that they do a variety of colors. The color palette has expanded a great deal, and that goes for the same with the bags. But once again, we're talking about the clothing. You'll notice that in these various presentations that I'm showing you, as well as the clothing that I've styled, they're giving you a rich color palette with a great deal of colors that step away from the well-known chocolate brown on tan that you're used to seeing. And just in case you're new to the channel, this is a fashion/style channel. Fashion because I'm putting you up on the latest and the greatest. Style because I'm showing you how to style and wear the latest and the greatest when it comes to fashion. As always with my videos, hopefully this one has inspired you to enhance your own personal style and your wardrobe. And to do so, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use Louis Vuitton or Gucci or any other high-end label. You can enhance your own personal style and wardrobe within whatever it is the budget that you want to have. And if you're not sure how, that's what people like me are for. So, you can contact me and we can talk about it. So as we come to the end of the menswear segment of the video, this has been the Designer Spotlight, Louis Vuitton. And I am JMADDSTYLES. For the rest of this fashionable story, please log on to jmadddstyles.blog. And until the next time, I'm gone.